Hey guys, Alden German here. I'm going to get started in just a second as I try not to fall out of my chair. We're going to quickly talk about the snow that we have on our way for Friday. Tomorrow, really. So, about 24 hours from now, we should be experiencing a March snow here for a while. So, if you guys can hear me, let me know. If you can't hear me, also let me know. It's been a while since I've done one of these, so I'm trying to reacquaint myself with the stuff with our technology here. So, hello everyone. Okay, great. You guys can hear me. That's what's important. So yes, we do have snow that's on the way, and let's go ahead and jump into it. So first, I got a lot of different windows here. I'm still trying to acquaint myself. I need like one more screen. Alright, bear with me. I promise I know what I'm doing. Just organizing myself. Or trying to. Okay, I think I'll drag this there. There's a bunch of stuff on my screen that you can't see that I'm just trying to put in a position that's not going to be annoying. Alright, double box. So, there we go. Here's a look at our current situation. We got a winter storm watch, winter storm watch for some counties, but for Metro Louisville, we are in a winter weather advisory. That starts tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. to be specific, and that'll go until 10 a.m. on Saturday. The colors there are kind of similar, but I'll point out which is which. So for us here in Metro Louisville, we have this winter weather advisory again. Starts tomorrow at 7, goes until 10 a.m. on Saturday morning. Then to our south and off to our east into the mountains of Kentucky, we have a winter storm watch that technically starts at 10 p.m. tomorrow, so about 24 hours from now, and goes until 10 a.m. on Saturday as well. And obviously that's because we are expecting snow to move in to the area. So we can actually already see where that snow is on radar. So here's a look at it back to our west. It's been moving very, very slowly. There's actually a cold front here. Let's see, it should have, yep. Right there is a cold front, and it's going to bring that snow with it eventually tomorrow. It's going to take about, almost really about 18 or so hours until we get that cold front to move south here. Excuse me. And then with it will come that snow and some much colder air too. Back home where I am from in Kansas City, it's been snowing for quite some time now. They've had a good deal of snow. I haven't actually asked my parents how much snow they have. I'm actually surprised my father hasn't texted me yet to tell me. He's normally very, very good about that. We'll see if my dad texts me with how much snow that they have. So that's where the snow is currently. That's what's headed our way. So everybody wants to know, of course, how much snow can we expect? Well, it's not going to be, in my opinion, a very, very large snow. But it could still be high impact just because of the timing and the different types of weather conditions we're expecting. My dad said they had 5 inches of snow in Kansas City. So here's a look at what's still our thinking for the snowfall for tomorrow night. If you live north of the river, probably not going to be seeing very much. A dusting up to about 1 inch of snow. For us here in the metro and in this light blue shading where the mouse is, 1 to 3 inches will be possible. As you head further south, you're going to see those snow amounts increase a little bit more. So down here where the winter storm watch is, if you live near Springfield, Lebanon, Campbellsville, Columbia, Greensburg, so Washington County, Kentucky, Marion, Taylor, Dare, Greene counties, you could see 3 to 4 inches, possibly even a little bit more than that. And if you move further east into the state, that's where you'll see the higher amounts of snow, where you could see 5 or maybe even 6 inches. And off here on this other screen that I'm looking at, we have some new data that should be coming in, that is in. So let me see what new updates we have here. So I'm looking at this. And it's very important that I look at this because Doug Profit's going to be on my case when he walks into the studio asking if there's anything new with the data that I look at. So I'm not seeing too many changes. Still looking here at some of the new stuff. I'm looking at this for the first time live with you guys. So I might end up making some adjustments to this map still before we go on at 11 o'clock. So yeah, this looks, it's pretty consistent with what I was looking at earlier this afternoon. So if you go further south and east, that's where you're going to have those higher amounts, where 4, 5, 6 inches, maybe even a little bit more than that will be possible. So if you're really traveling east, like really going into the mountains of Kentucky, that's where you can expect to get those higher snow totals. I believe someone asked about Gatlinburg. I don't know how to get to Gatlinburg, like what route you take to get there, but you are also looking at, seeing 6 or 7 inches of snow possibly down there in that area. So would not be surprised. You're going to find yourselves more so in the mountains. So going to be a little bit colder, and that's where you're probably going to see a little bit higher of those totals. So really, we're in a position where it starts over us, and I'll show you this with Futurecast. I can move on to that now. And this will make a lot more sense. So I'll scrub through this. So here we are through the rest of tonight into tomorrow morning. Still, we're going to be seeing some increasing clouds. Nothing too significant. Most of Friday during the daytime going to be sort of, status quo. But as we continue into the afternoon, this is 12:30 now. You can see that cold front starting to make its way south. Might actually be a little bit further south by this point. But look at Louisville at 12:30, sitting around 55 degrees. If you're in Shepherdsville, maybe around 57. If you're further south of that still, south of the parkways, you could be pushing 60 degrees by around 12:30 or so tomorrow, maybe a little bit later in the afternoon because you'd have some more sunshine. But pay attention to these temperatures because you're going to see a really, really dramatic drop. So there we are, about 57, getting close to our high temperatures of around maybe 2 to 3 o'clock. And as this cold front pushes south, our temperatures crash hard. So look at this. By 9:30, we're sitting a few degrees above freezing, perhaps. We'll give or take 2 or 3 degrees. So remember, at about 2 to 3 o'clock, we could be close to 60. By 9 p.m., we'll be down into the lower 30s. So it's going to fall the temperatures very, very fast. Also notice these darker shades of blue down here. Where's my tool? There we go. I don't know what color this is. Oh, good, it's white, but I don't know why I got the arrow. So these darker shades of blue, that's where the heavier snow is going to be falling, so that's why we have those higher snowfall amounts down there. So by 9 p.m., and this is, the heavier snow is starting to form south of Louisville, and the back edge is already starting to move in to southern Indiana. So we scrub forward a little bit more here. Look at how all those darker shades of blue are south of Louisville, and they really begin to blossom as you head further east of I-65. So this is one of those events where the snow kind of starts over us, but then blows up as it moves further away out to our east. And models have tried to accelerate the movement of this band of snow too, so that's why we lowered our snowfall totals a little bit from yesterday, because the timing was looking a bit faster this morning compared to what we were seeing last night. So as we continue forward here, by 1 o'clock, 2 a.m., still snowing maybe a little bit down to the south, Taylor, Adair, Greene counties. Temperatures around 30 degrees. But by 4 a.m., a lot of that snow is going to be done. So it's very, very quick. It's like exclusively a nighttime event. Let me just turn on the studio lights. Doug will be in here soon to do a thing that he does. And that's pretty much going to be it. Now, one thing to note, look over here. Maybe. Hey, Will. Oh, there we go. Now it's drawing. Okay, so look in this, that little circle there. So from around North Vernon through Carrollton and Frankfort, you guys could actually experience some lake effect snow from what we call a fetch off of Lake Michigan. And that could provide you with some persistent snow showers off and on throughout the day. At least throughout the morning after sunrise on Saturday. And that could inflate your snowfall totals over there just a little bit in a very, very narrow band. But by 12:30, 1 o'clock, we're starting to see more sunshine. And we have the big St. Patrick's Day parade that's back in person after 2 years on Saturday. That starts at about 3 p.m. And will be a little bit sunnier, but it's going to be cold. Temperatures only in the 20s for our highs on Saturday. I currently have 30 degrees for a high. I'm probably going to go back and bump that down a couple of degrees. And we often have lingering clouds that linger a bit longer than what models do a good job of showing. And it's going to be windy with northwest winds gusting up to 25, maybe 30 miles per hour. That's going to result in very cold wind chills. I can show you those next right here. I'll back this up a little bit. So starting at 2 p.m., this is what it'll feel like to us, the air temperature. Front's getting closer, it's going to be windier, so we'll see those middle 40s is what it'll feel like. Then as we head through the night and the snow begins, it'll start to feel colder still. And by about sunrise tomorrow, we could have single-digit wind chills close to 0, so it's going to feel very, very cold Saturday morning. And as we head further into the afternoon, we'll warm up a little bit, but we'll still be very cold with wind chills, the feels like numbers down into the teens. So I've had some new people pop in here. So here's a look at that snow map again for what we're expecting Friday night. If you live basically along and north of the river, a dusting to around 1 inch of snow. So if you do live in, answering Alice specifically, if you do live in southern Indiana, you're going to have a lesser impact from it, but you still will see a little bit of snow. If you're in Metro Louisville, where most of us are, 1 to 3 inches will be possible, but the higher amounts are going to be further south, generally south of the Bluegrass Parkway in particular, where 3 to 4 inches, maybe even a little bit more than that, could fall. Now, one thing that we have to keep in mind with this event is the snow, when it starts to fall, could be a little bit heavy at times. It could fall at a rate of 1 to 2 inches per hour, which is really, really heavy snow. That can overcome the relatively warm ground and road temperatures, which would mean you would see some very quick accumulations. It would also reduce your visibility if you're going to be going anywhere Friday night. That's why we have this winter weather advisory, and it's going to be snowy, so we would have some blowing snow possibly as well. That's why the winter weather advisory is in place, because of the impacts we could experience from the heavy snow when it does start to fall. The initial snow, like the very, very first maybe 30 minutes to an hour of snow, might not do as good of a job accumulating because it's going to be falling light enough that the warm ground has time to melt it. But once that snow intensity picks up, it can overcome the warm ground and fall fast enough that it does manage to accumulate. So that's why we could see 1, 2, 3 inches in only a few hour period, and thus increasing those totals. And of course, it'll be very cold and windy on Saturday. Northwest winds gusting up to about 25 miles per hour. So it is going to be very cold, but thankfully, if you're not a fan of the cold, we're going to be warming up. On Sunday, we'll be already back to about 50 degrees and a little bit cooler where you have the snow, middle 40s probably. And by the start of next week, we will be in the low 60s again. So this is a really, really short, intense burst of winter, and then it's going to be out of here. All right, I need to go ahead and get off. So Doug Pine, what's his name? Doug Profit. He's going to be in here. He comes in at about 10 o'clock to do some recordings. So I'm going to hop off so he can do that. I'm going to make a few last minute adjustments to my temperatures. And I will have an updated 7-day forecast for you that's mainly going to be changing the high temperature on Saturday. I'll probably knock that down a couple of degrees. It may be on Sunday too, but most of the rest of the forecast is going to be staying the same. So we'll be back on in about an hour. I'll be the first thing off the top of the show, and then I'll be back again about 10 or so minutes after that. And yes, Bev, you did see a 74 next week. We're going to be getting very mild and above average temperatures again heading into next week. So honestly, by Tuesday, the snow from Friday, tomorrow, just probably going to be like a distant memory for us. But I will show you really quick how much snow we have had this season. We've had 8 inches on the nose. Normally we have 12.1 inches, so we are running below average by about 4 inches, and we could add a couple of inches to that and catch up some. But last year, which was very snowy, we had 17.6 inches of snow by this point. So, you know, each winter is going to be a little bit different. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it as always. You can always find me on Facebook and give me a follow there. That's just search my name, Alden German, and you can also follow me on Twitter at WXAlden. So we will be back on here on air in about 1 hour. In the meantime, have a good evening, and I will see you soon.